This patch probably focuses on balancing. So expectations for Season 19, I am not expecting anything major. There's been a lot of really aggressive patches, so we'll have to kind of wait and see. Focus on balancing the perks that following the Season 18 perk refresh. Makes total sense. Based off of pick rate, gameplay data, and player feedback, we're making adjustments to perks, blah, 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 so a lot of perk adjustments. Okay, so this is why we wanted to wait on doing the perk fixes idea. Tank, Doomfist. Probably some adjustments to his minor perks, maybe tuning down his major perks a little bit, because I think his perks are woefully misplaced. Like, his minor perks are almost some of the weaker minor perks in the game, and his major perks are some of the stronger perks in the game. That's my prediction here. Power Block can make Doomfist difficult to punish. This change reduces its damage reduction slightly, giving opponents more opportunity to overwhelm. Damage reduction reduced. Okay, that's a minor nerf, but it's I mean, it's 25% more damage. It's 5%, but it's 25% more damage. You get what I'm saying? So a bullet... Grim, what are you doing? Hi. So, I mean, it's a minor nerf, but it'll add up. It's fine. Aftershock, which is the other major perk, slow duration is increased, slow amount increased. I think this is pretty big. So this is a nerf to his kit overall. This is a buff to the slow duration. Yeah, his name is Grimbjorn. We call him Grim. This is big. Like, this is big. I think overall this might make Doomfist slightly weaker, but does it compete with Power Block now? I mean, yeah, absolutely. Like, Power Block was... let's put it this way. They, I think, probably have their very clear niches now. Like, I think before, both had their niche, but I think Power Block was good enough to kind of bleed outside of his niche. So it was so good, sometimes you take it even when there wasn't CC. Just because the ability to just absorb damage without taking damage is pretty darn good. But now, the slow is a lot stronger, so situations when you're not playing versus CC, I mean, this probably becomes the must pick, which is kind of what you want, right? Like, you don't want it to be that, like, the other perk is so good that it's good even outside of its niche, which is CC. So, yeah, so he's gonna feel a lot better versus normal dive comp stuff that's just like the average Joe slamming in and getting value, right? So, you know, I would still argue that probably still too much value into the perk. I just wish Slam did more damage, but this is probably okay. We'll give this one a sure. Yeah, okay. Nothing crazy. It doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean it's good. It means that it seems okay in the surface level. Need further testing to see. Okay. Means that Junk Hanzo don't give him punch in one shot, by the way. That's huge. That's really huge. Good stuff. So, yeah. Hazard has to be his lifesteal, I think, probably. That would be my expectation. Something changed to his lifesteal perk, because I think it's really quite bad. Okay, so the lifesteal is increased. I just don't think it's good enough. Like, this is like, I think lifesteal, maybe there's a gradient where it becomes good. I just don't know how far you'd have to push to an absurd level. And my problem is that I don't know if that's something that you want to do. Like, I don't think increasing the sustain of the block ability is necessarily good. Even if this was significant, which I really don't think it is, necessarily says it's like a 5 HPS increase, basically. Then if it is good, then I don't think it's the right thing to be good. So this one gets a negative grade for me, or a neutral grade, because it's not going to change anything. And if it did change something, it would be bad. Like, when we try to fix perks for Hazard, we realized pretty darn quickly, you need to not give him more reasons to block. Maybe you give him different reasons to block, but lifesteal is not a different reason to block. It's the same survivability-focused decision. Do I look more on Twitch or YouTube? I look at both. I need to look at the rules for Twitch with showing YouTube chat. I think you can show YouTube chat, but I can see you, so yeah. Junker Queen has to be her minor perk. Like, I think was just broken. Probably either the cooldown refresh. I think Unstoppable's maybe fine, but no longer refreshes all cooldowns, just reduces all cooldowns by 6 seconds. That's fine. That basically means you're gonna have your Gracie, you're going to have your Carnage, most likely, potentially, and you maybe have your Shout. That's a good change. That's a good change, and I'm glad this is why we're doing our perk fixes video, because later, because this is nice. This is good. Good stuff. Good job. Malga. I don't know. I think Malga's maybe just a general buff. I wouldn't mind something that, as long as it's not healing, like, we're cool. He doesn't talk to us? Yes, that's correct. Cage Fight's powerful, but his charger has been a bit slow. We've reduced its ultimate cost. Sure. Maximum overhealth, grand hit increase from 100 to 150. Critical hits, amount of overhealth given increase from 2 to 3. So you basically generate the combat fuel perk more often. Yeah, I mean, sure. It was clearly the worst perk. Yeah, it's just clearly I still don't think that this changes anything necessarily, but sure. Okay. I'm still using the other major perk, but yeah. Probably more impactful of a change than the hazard change. Maybe. So. Ryan, just get rid of the shield pen perk. I love you, Custa. You're a smart guy. Way smarter than I am. But please get rid of that freaking perk. In addition to that, I think there's a legitimate criticism for the Fire Strike attack speed one in terms of how long it lasts. I wouldn't mind if that lasted a little bit longer so it's more globally useful. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, man. Oh, no. Cussy. No. I'm not saying that even Cusses actually has to do with this. I'm assuming. I have no idea. Just poop, man. It just, no. I mean, yeah, it's weak. It's better now. But no. 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 Freaking hate this perk. Freaking hate this perk. It limits so much of what makes him unique compared to other brawl tanks. It just, no. Boo. Boo. This is something that when I was talking with Custa about a month ago, or longer, I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt because the idea was that it changed potentially how you use pen a little bit. And I was like, okay, maybe. But the more I've coached, the more I've played, the more I've seen high-level play, it just isn't it. It really is as bad as we thought it would be. I've changed my tune on a couple of other perks. I was absolutely wrong. And that's the key thing. Like, I'm going to be wrong about this stuff, guys. But I don't think I was wrong about this one. And the more I've seen, the more I've... Yeah, it's just boring. It's not good. It's not good. So, yeah. Ball? It has to be perk nerfs, right? Like minor perk nerfs, because he's doing really well. He's still a niche character, but his perks are really strong, and I actually don't think any of his perks are bad. I know some people are like, oh, spin to win with tank is always good. The health pack one is bad. Health pack one is not bad. Health pack one is really good. It's just competing with an also really good perk, so both are okay. So, I don't know. It just has to be nerfs across the board, right? No longer consumes over... Wow, just a straight buff. Okay. A little bit easier to see, though. Okay. Both are freaking good, dude. Both are freaking good. And the adaptive barrier one just means that his parry shield now is... There's no downside whatsoever. Now, the visual size might be... Maybe that's the downside. It's easier to accidentally shoot and therefore break. Not sure. We'll see. Doesn't feel like a nerf at all, though. Feels more like, if anything, a minor buff. You can block shatters and stuff. Okay. Sure. Okay. Yeah, so I guess it's just basically perk changes. Nothing super major. A little bit disappointing. I wouldn't have minded have seen the only major change that we saw was the ultimate cost reduction for Malga and the Doomfist slight power block nerf, but... I think that they're pretty happy with the way that tanks are feeling right now, which seems like, as we check the thing, it seems pretty fair. I don't think any of the tanks in the gutter are tanks that I would buff. And it seems like they're kind of aware of that. They dealt with a couple of the problematic cooldowns, like the Junker Queen one, but then they also kind of just didn't really deal with other ones at all. Like, we still have the same freaking Rhine perk. You know, La Hazard's perk still sucks. Doomfist minor perks are still disproportionately shifted into as opposed to his major. So they just didn't really rock the boat, you know? And so I don't want to be overly critical because I don't think really any of these changes are bad. Like, they are harmless at worst. But I also, nothing really happened here. So I'll give this one like a C so far. Because even the perk changes are relatively tame considering it's a new season. I know we just had a big mix-up, but I was expecting more than this, to be honest with you guys. So, whatever. I'm not saying that, yeah, so it's going to be more base kit stuff later. That's fine. But I was surprised to not see more perk tweaks. Nothing major, but a little bit underwhelming. So, overall, positive. This is, I feel like, overall positive, but not as much as I would like. Damage, Cassidy. Please just give him his HP back. Give him his HP back. Just give him his HP back. I think perk-wise, the High Noon healing one is really bad if we're really like fishing for perk fixes, but give him his HP back, nerf his fall off, and do something with a High Noon perk. It's not enough, man. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. Nobody's gonna pick this perk. Nobody's gonna pick this perk. It's not enough. I don't even hate the idea of this perk. It's kind of interesting, but it's just not enough. The Hender perk is one of the best minor perks in the game. It's more damage, more range, and it's consistently useful. Like at least once per fight, if not twice. No. No, it's just not good. All right, Freya. What do you buff with Freya? Dash distance? Updraft cooldown? Now that you take probably updraft cooldown. What are her perks? The dash distance one, which maybe that one's not good enough. I think the wall hacks one is still pretty good. Oh, relentless barrage. I mean, it's okay, I guess. Yeah. Whatever, sure. None of these are super impactful, to be honest with you guys. May probably buff both of her minor perks. I think both of her major perks are situational and decent. And I like her minor perks a lot. It will probably be the wall cooldown penalty and maybe even something to her ult perk. No longer shares a cooldown increase from 16 seconds. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, cool. So they just took away the Kiss Curse but gave it its own cooldown. That's fine. Yeah. Minor buff, but it's a good one. It makes sense. Makes sense. Reaper's gonna get a slap in the face. I don't know what you do with Reaper, actually. I hope they don't change his perk. I really like the way that they have the perk right now. I'm gonna cry if they change his perk. We've reduced Wraith's form's movement speed to lower his overall mobility, moved Shadowblink to a major perk, and added Lingering Wraith as a new minor perk to preserve mobility options. Oh, Baggins, thank you for the 73 months. I appreciate it. I don't like the Wraith form penalty at all. That is it's just bad. It's just bad. I understand if Shadowblink needs to be nerfed, but we need Wraith form to be a consistent option. No. Shadowblink move from minor to major, sure. I will again argue that transformative perks generally are better as minor perks because you have access to them earlier and often. I don't love that. Leaving Wraith form grants 40% movement speed for 2 seconds. That's actually a pretty cool perk. I like that a lot better than Ravenous Wraith. I will highlight that we still have the stupid Soul Orbs. The weakest, one of the weakest, if not, okay, it was like in the bottom 2 or 3 weakest perks in the game. Why are we removing this one? I mean, because even this one had a very small niche. Why? So maybe the reason that they nerfed this is because of this? I don't know. I don't want to overreact. I don't like this, though. This makes it feel like you need this one to be able to use Wraith form consistently. I don't know. Gold players love the Soul Orbs. I know they love it. It's not good. It's a terrible perk. Even if you want Soul Orbs, they need to make it so that you, within a 5-10 meter range, you absorb the Soul Orb. You don't have to walk over the freaking orb. It's terrible in its current implementation. They are one of the worst perks in the entire game, easily. So, this is sus. This is sus. I will say, here's what I will say. I will reserve judgment. I will not knee-jerk this one because I think this is probably the most complicated change that we've had in these patch notes. The least obvious. So I encourage you guys to do the same. Let's go test these things out. The concern is that Wraith will become too inconsistent in terms of its value. The concern is that we're going to have the transformative aspect of Shadowblink, which made it a lot better in certain maps and certain matchups, feels too inaccessible, too late, which is a problem with a lot of my perks as a whole. I know that they want the power scaling to be working as you go along, but the problem is when the power scaling is transformative. In the case of like Sigma, for example, you want that transformation now. Like, I need the verticality now. Like, otherwise I'm getting counterpicked until I'm 8 minutes into the match. You get what I'm saying? And that's kind of my problem with moving Shadowblink later. So we'll see. We'll see. We will go and test that one. This feels like a net nerf, but this has immense potential, I think. So we will have to wait and see. It's really strange that of all like this safe new perk ideas that we have with other characters, it's actually Reaper getting one. And it's a pretty interesting perk. Like, I would not call leaving Wraith form granting 40% movement speed a safe perk choice. So it's weird that we have like really conservative, basic, easy things, and then just a nuclear bomb in the middle of the DPS. Like, this could be really good. Like, it's weird. It's weird. I don't know. No idea. Like, this has immense potential to be broken. This could also be a very significant net nerf. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you could use it with your ult. You could use it aggressively. I mean, this feels like, I mean, what's the other minor perk? Like, I'm sorry, like, you're now, this feels like a really good perk now. Like, it's not, Soul Orbs is now, we've replaced one of the best perks in the game, competing with Soul Orbs, to another, probably one of the better minor perks in the game, competing with Soul Orbs again. Literally, why would you ever pick Orbs? Why would you ever, this is really good, both offensively and defensively. I have no idea. Okay, Tracer, it has to be the recall perk. What would they do? Give her maybe they give her like slightly faster cooldown reduction post recall or something. So like you don't have just one blink, but like you get your, I have no idea. Or maybe they just give her the one blink. I don't know. Maybe they give up. There's a lot of pushback because I think there wasn't a feeling like one blink doesn't feel transformative enough, but you're only regenerating one blink at a time though. What's the cooldown on blink? 3. So is this not like a blink and a half? Basically? No, more than that. Yeah, it's more than that. Okay, so this actually feels like maybe a minor buff if you're using your blinks early and often, but it means that you can't chain your blinks immediately afterwards. I think I'll need to go in the practice range test one. The way that I'm thinking about this mathematically is that it means that recall, you can't pop, pop, pop immediately. It's you'd recall, blink, blink, blink. You get what I'm saying? Very similar, but the chaining of blinks takes a little bit more time. Probably, I would say a net neutral change. Maybe a minor nerf, maybe a minor buff. Yeah, less rapid use, more sustained. That's the way that I look at it. So, yeah, it's actually a pretty clever change if it works out the way that they think they're intending it to, which is that it keeps the perk relevant, but it makes it so that it is a little bit less spiky, which is fine. It's a very clever way to change it. The problem, obviously, is that it's still probably quite strong, and her perks are still incredibly imbalanced. Like, it's still going to be, I think, almost certainly the default pick this perk, and the other minor perk with the health back still doesn't have any changes. So, sure. Widowmaker would be... Has to be the stupid Venomine perk, right? Has to be. Has to be. It's just so incredibly trash. I actually don't think it's... I still think it's a bad perk. It's not good enough. Because it still has the same freaking HP. And now, Venomine does even more damage. So there's even less reason to choose this perk than there was prior to the update. I actually would go as far to say this almost feels... Okay, it's like minorly better than it was before. But because Venomine before this got a significant buff, you're actually a lot less likely to pick it anyway. Yeah, so you're still never going to pick... And the other perk is not bad, too. The other perk is quite good. It's the, what is it, fully charged shot, or charged shots into grapple cooldown, which is, like, really nice. It's not an OP, it's just a solid perk. So literally, never pick this perk. So it's like, these are just nominal changes. I think why they do this... And so let me be clear. The reason why I'll cut them a little bit of slack... I'm not going to say this is a good change. But, or I'm not going to say this is a bad change, because... This is probably a noob. They're probably trying to lessen the noob trap, okay? There are bronze, silver, gold, plat, whatever Widowmakers that are picking this perk because they don't understand it. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to sabotage somebody for choosing the wrong perk because you are incapable of coming up with a better perk set. You get what I'm saying? So, yes, this doesn't make the perk good or better, but at least if you pick that perk accidentally or you're too stupid to know which perk is better or inexperienced or whatever, at least you're not sabotaging yourself as much. You get what I'm saying? Right. So, because like the Hazard Lifesteal one, does it matter? No, but maybe you're throwing 2% less often. You know what I'm saying? because it's really bad to pick the wrong perk. So to me, the way it is that like if you don't have the development time to make a proper perk then for Widowmaker right now, then yeah, tune the numbers up, let it cook for right now. It still sucks, but at least the bronze players aren't gonna be throwing their games as much. You get what I'm saying? Doesn't fix the problem, which again, this is kind of like my main criticism of this patch, is that without knowing their developer resources, this is really underwhelming so far. But we'll cut them some slack, we'll be graceful, and gracious, and assume that they're putting more resources elsewhere, because this feels so incredibly underwhelming. So, Ana, just give me a lower cooldown than Nade. I don't even know. Like, I don't know. I have no expectations for Ana. I think all of her perks could use slight adjustments here or there. We really struggled with Ana. I have no expectation. What? Dude, 2 times? Does this become a must pick now? I mean, Bounce Nade is still pretty good if you're getting dove a lot, but does this become a must pick? There's no way that they had the guts to do this, man. Dude, this is what I'm talking about with this patch, bro. Like, what is this? Like, there's like the most passive soy jacking, like, and then just nuclear bombs out of nowhere. Like, what? Out of nowhere. Like, what? Like, of all the things they could have done with Ana, like retweak Groggy, you know, I don't know, like just base kit changes, like simply reducing her nade by 1 second. We would have laughed, but it would have been a good change. I would have liked it, but no, we're just gonna. It's like they're like, are they really trying purposefully not to do base kit changes? Because I don't even think Headhunter was bad. I mean, it wasn't great. I don't know. Maybe they're really. Maybe Headhunter just wasn't ever being picked. Maybe that's just it. I don't know. Sure. Okay. I'm not being super hypercritical of this. It's just getting like whiplash from this, you know? I guess we're gonna be playing some Ana today. Maybe. Frick, man. Wait, she ignores tank headshot reduction? That's insane. That's actually really big. That's probably your easiest headshots. So what is that, 150 damage a shot? Holy crap. Isn't that... Ashe does more than that. Ashe does like what, 180, 190, something like that? Just 150, and she ignores armor. That's crazy. Crazy. Oh wait, Ashe does 150. Oh. Okay, cool. BAP. Is it the weaving perk, or is it the attack speed perk? Okay, so he still gets the burst, but he gets a slightly weaker. Okay, that's fine. Sure. For now, we'll see. Ha! We know what we know what we know what one it is. We know what it is. We know what it is. Reduce from 50% of max energy. Great. Healing amount no longer scales with energy spent. Okay. Sure. That's good. Explosion healing is now a flat one or anything. Okay. I still think this perk is kind of mid because I haven't found a consistent way of the cone, but maybe it's good. Maybe it's actually good now. It also depends, because see, the problem with this one is also the animation is a bit awkward, because, so I'll have to test this out in game, because if the animation is like really uncomfortable, then it's still not going to be worth the opportunity cost of using a resource for burst healing. Like, the thing is like, if you're using the animation of this ability, you could just be healing. Like, her healing per second is insane. It's like the highest in the game, I think. So yeah, exactly. The obvious use for this is to use until you have no energy left, and then pop your explosion at the end. So you have like 5 resource. Now you will use all that. It's kind of like a opportunity cost though, because if you use all your resource, remember the cooldown to be able to heal again is increased, so it will penalize you for using all your resource. But I guess that would be the way to min-max it. It's like using your alt fire Zarya when you have like 2 ammo left, you know. But obviously that you are going to deal with a long cooldown, so it'd be more of an emergency thing. So I could see this one being now situationally useful, but I will have to kind of wait and see. Because it is awkward that you're not supposed to use all your resources with EDI. Juno. Has to be her shift thing, no? And maybe the allies torpedoes? Okay, they did the base kit thing, which is, I think, fine. Yeah, I mean, it was ridiculously slow. It seems like they're really, really avoiding base kit changes, like, at all. Like, the most basic ult cost. The Doomfist one was by far the most aggressive base kit change, as was the Wraith Form one. So... yeah. Kiriko. Does Foxtrot get nerfed? Minor perks feel okay. The major perks feel out of whack, though. Sure. Okay. Yeah. 2 for 3, 3 for 2. Whatever. I mean, Weaver needs so much, man. They beefed it, dude. I'm going to be disappointed no matter what I see here. I mean, that's okay. I don't like the pedal power one. I don't like pedal power as a concept in general. I just don't think attack speed is what you want to buff. I know it just means more. You just charge your healing faster, right? Like, oh, but you could buff your teammates. You're not doing that with Lifeweaver because you're playing in the back, and things like this on paper sound good until you realize that his gameplay loop has gotten worse in the past season. This might have been more healthy if we had 275 HP Lifeweaver, but it's not going to work right now. You need your pedal for yourself. So I like this. I think this as a concept is okay, and probably becomes the must pick perk now. The other, it was pretty close. The cleansing one was situationally good, but I don't think if you have a clear non-cleanse situation that you would ever not choose this one now. It's not broken. I don't think it's a must pick necessarily, but it definitely feels like it has a small advantage now. So, whatever. He's still Lifeweaver. He's still crap, you know. I'm just surprised, man. I'm just surprised. Like, I'm not a Lifeweaver advocate in the fact that I want this character to be meta, but I felt like there was his place. He like could have used a nerf, but they nerfed all the wrong things. Like, legitimately all the wrong things with this character. Wuyong, this one's really important. I'm hoping that they get this one right. Please, 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 please get this one right. I actually think it would be hard to get this one wrong. I'm not sure how I feel about 225. Reason why is I don't think we have enough supports that can contest closer space. I think, like, if anything, we need supports that can contest closer range space. We just have Brig Lucio. That's all we have. We had Lifeweaver kind of, sort of, and then we didn't anymore. So he's just going to be the more sitting in the back, poking away, which, I mean, it's fine, I guess, you know, with his primary fire, but Moira, hello? Right, well, they did the same thing to Moira, is my point. Like, they chunked her to 225, too. Maximum explosion damage, that's good. Maximum impact damage, that's good. This is a good change right here. This is by far the best change I've seen so far. I think this is fine. Healing resource generation increased. Fine. I still don't like the concept of the perk whatsoever. This probably still is a must pick, but maybe there's some nuance here with how much healing resource that you get. Healing on returning wave reduced. That is a good change. That is something that needs to change here. But I really... Here's my problem with this. My problem comes from the concept of, like, we need more supports that can get their hands dirty. And even though you could say the water bending, the poking, the damaging, I don't think you want supports that are, like, it feels like a lot of our supports recently have not been dirty hands. You know, Weaver for briefly, and then they chopped off his ankles. Moira, Kiriko lost 25 HP but retained their effectiveness elsewhere. We haven't had Brig, we haven't had Lucio. Juno just dies to a stiff wind. Wuyong's got 250 and they nerfed him back to 225. It feels like consistently supports, we don't have characters that can get their hands dirty, which just limits the number of support compositions that function and generally compresses the amount of spaces that supports can safely control. We also know that the problem with Wuyong was not necessarily his survivability, but mostly just how much damage did he get output here. If he was 225 with a lower cooldown on wave, so it became a resource management, if you could live on the angle, then I could be okay with that potentially. And in the same way that a Lucio, even though he is 225, can still technically hold close range space, he just has to be way more cautious with his amp, his positioning, his boop, and so on, but he has the tools to be able to do that. I don't know that Wuyong has the consistency to be able to hold that space anymore. And so the reason why I'm disappointed here is because I think we have more supports that are behaving similarly to each other and fewer supports exploring different positions and different playstyles. So we have a lot more competition for the sit back and poke. You got Ana, you got Bap, you got Sen, you got Wuyong, you've got Kiriko on deeper angles, you have Moira on deeper angles, but everything feels very fragile right now in support, and I don't like that necessarily. So if I want 225, I want a 10-second cooldown on wave with a weaker heal, weaker damage, whatever else, right? Or I want 250, but even more nerf to the explosion damage, even more. So he does even less poke damage, which he compensates by being able to position more aggressively, right? The problem is that we don't have that. It's the same problem with Cassidy, where they don't know whether he wants to get his hands dirty or he wants to sit back and poke. And my argument with Cassidy is that we have too many freaking characters that already sit back and poke. We need more characters that can get their hands dirty, especially hit scans. And this is the exact same argument here. I think we already have so many support characters that want to play this space. Wu Young was kind of toying with his shift and his wave and his 250 HP, that a character that, and then now they just chop off his legs at the ankle, sit in the back line. That's your job. So I just find that less interesting. It's not like a fundamentally flawed, everybody's going to die and explode. It's a less interesting change. It's a less interesting change to me. So I would have liked them to leave the 250, be more aggressive with the nerfs to his primary fire, be more aggressive with the nerfs to his healing, and then go from there. Did Spilo to be a dirty game? Well, I just look at the support cast, and I just don't see a lot of competition for dirty heroes, right? Like, you look at the support cast, and there just isn't really anybody that wants to get their hands dirty. Like, really anybody besides Brig and Lucio. I mean, even Mercy, right? They made the exact wrong change to Mercy back in the day when they nerfed it to 225 HP. Nerf sustain, fine. Make it more punishable, fine. But Mercy, a lot of how Mercy was played in higher levels was kind of using yourself aggressively to pocket aggressive positions to be able to carry yourself through your movement. And then they said, oh no, you die if you step out in the open for 2 seconds. And so there's a consistent pattern with Moira, with Mercy, with Lucio, with Kiriko, with Lifeweaver, I guess to a lesser extent with just Juno's design as a whole, where supports are extremely fragile and then are compensated by having ridiculously strong output of damage or self-sustain through their cooldowns. I would like a little bit more homogenization, a little more nuance with that. I'd like more characters like Brigitte and Lucy that have more resource management kind of stuff, that can control those more aggressive angles, because the problem is that we have way too much protein and not enough carbohydrates in our support. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it's the opposite, actually. We have too much carbohydrates and not enough protein in our support cast, which means the compositions of... It'd be like if we just took, like, Genji, made him 225 and tripled his projectile speed, you know, and then made, I don't know, Junkrat 225 and doubled his projectile speed, and then made, I don't know, Venture 225 and doubled their range. It's like everything's a poke character now. It's like, well, you know, let's have some dynamics here, you know? I think the DPS cast does a much better job of it, but support feels like it's getting more and more homogenized. Yeah, exactly. It's way too much coffee and not enough beef in the support line. Way too much coffee, not enough beef. Way too much coffee, not enough beef. And Wang had potential to be that weird hybrid where he wasn't quite like beefy. I mean, kind of beefy, you know, but more so than some of the other supports. And then no, not really. So we'll see. And not the end of the world, but I would like to see them be careful with this in the future. Something we haven't really talked about as much. But I would like to see more supports and DPS that kind of operate in that hybrid range. Favorite change in this patch? I don't know. I don't really have anything that's really got me super excited. The Tracer's fine. Reaper one's interesting, but I'll give this patch a C-. Very aggressive changes in weird spots. Very few changes, and some changes that I feel like kind of missed the mark. For my opinion, and a lot of things that were done that were not done. So it felt like a lot of resources were put into odd locations. So C-. C- for me. I feel like the only really significant things that you're gonna feel are like maybe the Reaper things, Wuyong, maybe the Ana one, Reaper, Wuyong, Ana. Maybe Doom, probably the Doom Slam perk. If you guys notice, that's mostly what you're gonna notice. So not a lot of things that you're gonna feel. Much smaller. Wuyong, Malga, not really. Malga is gonna be barely palpable. It's just it just is. This isn't super positive, isn't super negative. It just is. Was hoping and expecting more. Meta still the same? Not so sure. We've already, remember, 225 is a death sentence for characters. It is a massive nerf. It is the biggest nerf a character can receive conceptually. So Wuyong's win rate is going to drop significantly. I would say at least 3%, maybe 4%, or maybe even more. I would predict Wuyong anywhere in the 52% win rate, maybe even lower. Depends. So, yeah. For our perk fixes project, I think this does simplify a couple things. We won't have to talk about the Junker Queen one. But actually, besides the Junker Queen one, I think we're going to talk about the same perks. Maybe I think we talked about the May change as well. And we can remove the Tracer one. But, yeah. For our perk fixes project, mostly going to be talking about the same crap. So, Juno's ult cost reduction, I mean, she needed it. She's going to be quite strong now, I think. I think if we look at our previous win rates here, Juno was already, like, decent, I think. So if we look here, Juno was competent. And then we've seen a massive nerf to Wuyong. So we're going to see Juno with a little bit of a buff. Probably jump to 52%. She's going to be in the top 3 or 4, I predict. So she's going to jump up because Wuyong's bad and she got a little bit of a buff. So, and I don't think there's anything underneath her that got significant buffs either. So there's nothing really competing for that headspace right now. This is the screenshot from the previous season. Jacob, I screenshot it yesterday. So we could talk about it, because I'm not going to look at the stats. We'll do a stat read next week after we have a full week of practice. Oh, yes, you're right, Turtle. Ana buff is probably significant, yes. So Ana, probably Juno, going to jump up. That's true. Because remember, everything's competing for each other. It's a dog-eat-dog world, right? So even if a character remains the same, but other characters got buffed, they're going to drop. Who do you think will be the best supports this season? I'm not going to answer that question. You can probably predict it. Focus on what you enjoy playing. If anything, this shows that with very few exceptions, most supports are decent. Like, even the ones that are in the bottom here are decent, especially in lower ranks. So I don't do tier lists on that front. So play what you want. Everything will be probably fine. Whatever you want to play.